So Jimmy, I think this audience understands very well that if you're on the internet, probably the most universally understood problem is just the decline in civility on the internet. 72% of people around the world say that they've witnessed cyberbullying. Nearly half of those people say that they've personally been victims of it. You're like the pioneer of crowdsourcing. You've been at this since you founded Wikipedia in January of 2001. Clearly, this has been a trend that's been around for a while, but was there a moment where you thought to yourself, this is really getting out of control, and was it subtle or was it abrupt? Walk us, sort of reflect back on when you feel like we crossed this threshold.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because when you put it that way, I remember the days of Usenet. You're very young. The internet used to be a horrific place, and it's always been that way. I think that obviously technologies have shifted. There are things that happen that are different nowadays, for sure. But I think we have to remember that some of these problems do go back a very long way. People behaving badly in forums where there are no rules, or where it's anonymous, or where what I always talk about is how software structure can implicitly generate certain social norms without really being intentional. So the simplest example, in the Usenet days, Usenet was pretty much uncensored and uncensorable by its structure. And what this meant is that for open, unmoderated news groups, if somebody was misbehaving, the only thing that you could do about it was yell at them. And so then you always got the most annoying people just yelling at each other. And that was viewed as, just the human condition, but the truth is the software made, it set the rules that made that the way that it happened. So even in the early days of Wikipedia, I knew we needed to deal with that. And so we had rules, like one of the earliest rules of Wikipedia is no personal attacks. And the idea is that Wikipedia should be a civil place where we have dialogues about the quality of the entries rather than attacks on each other. But then I should probably ask you to talk a little bit about perspective and the research that you guys have been doing, because obviously even though the rule in Wikipedia is no personal attacks, we're human beings. So there's bad behavior sometimes.